If you ever noticed your reflection moving a moment too late, don't ignore it. The man who shared this story says that's the exact moment his life stopped feeling real. This story was posted anonymously on a private forum in 2019. The original poster deleted his account 3 days later and never responded to follow-up messages. I never believed in the paranormal. Not ghosts, not doppelgangers, not mirrors acting as doors to something else. I was 32, living alone in a small apartment, working night shifts as a data analyst. My life was routine, predictable, and painfully ordinary, which is why what happened still terrifies me. There was no stress, no drugs, no lack of sleep to explain it away. It started on a Tuesday night. I came home around 2:10 a.m., dropped my keys on the counter, and went straight to the bathroom to wash my hands. The fluorescent light buzzed softly overhead. I looked up into the mirror and froze. My reflection blinked after I did. It wasn't dramatic, no horror movie delay, just late, maybe half a second, enough that my brain noticed before logic rushed in to excuse it. I told myself it was exhaustion. I stared harder, raised my right hand. The reflection followed perfectly. I laughed at myself, washed my face, and went to bed. The second time happened 2 nights later. Same routine, same time, same mirror. This time, I smiled to test it. My reflection smiled back, but it held the smile longer than I did. I felt a cold pressure build behind my eyes, that deep instinctive fear you get when something is wrong but you don't know why. I leaned closer to the mirror, searching for distortion, lag, anything scientific. The reflection leaned closer too, but its eyes didn't move the same way mine did. I stepped back. It stepped back. Perfect again. That night, I covered the mirror with a towel before sleeping. I told myself I was being ridiculous, but I didn't uncover it in the morning. Over the next week, strange things started happening, small things at first. I'd catch my reflection already looking at me when I entered a room. I'd turn my head, and for a split second, the reflection wouldn't. Once, while brushing my teeth, I saw my reflection's lips move, but I wasn't speaking. I stopped using the bathroom mirror entirely. I shaved using my phone camera. I avoided reflective surfaces, but reflections are everywhere. Windows, dark TV screens, polished metal. And that's when it escalated. One night, as I passed my bedroom mirror, I saw myself standing there, already waiting. Not delayed, not lagging, waiting. My reflection's face was neutral, calm, like it knew something I didn't. I slept with the lights on that night. The next morning, I noticed fingerprints on the mirror. On the inside. I didn't remember touching it. I wiped them away and tried to rationalize. Stress, hallucinations, maybe early signs of something neurological. I even booked a doctor's appointment. But the mirror didn't wait. That evening, I stood in front of it and said out loud, "This isn't real." My reflection nodded. I didn't. My heart slammed hard. I thought I might pass out. I ran. I spent the night on a friend's couch, too afraid to explain why. The next day, I returned to my apartment with him. Everything looked normal. The mirror was just a mirror. Until my friend asked, "Why does your reflection look like that?" "What do you mean?" I asked. He frowned. "It looks tense, like it's holding something back." I didn't look. That was the last confirmation I needed. That night, I made a decision. I was going to break the mirror. At 3 a.m., hammer in hand, I stood in front of it. My reflection stared back, expressionless. "I know you're not me," I whispered. The reflection smiled. Not my smile. I swung the hammer. The glass shattered, but instead of shards falling outward, they fell inward, like the mirror had depth, like it wasn't glass after all. And for just a second before everything went dark, I saw my reflection step forward. I woke up on the bathroom floor hours later. The mirror was whole again. No cracks, no damage. But when I looked into it blinked first. She was certain she lived alone. That belief ended the night she found her front door locked from the inside again. This story comes from a statement shared with local police during a wellness check. No charges were ever filed because no intruder was officially found. I moved into the apartment because it felt safe. Second floor, one entrance, deadbolt and chain lock. The kind of place you choose when you're tired of roommates and just want quiet. I'd lived there for 6 months without a single issue, until the door started locking itself. The first time, I didn't think anything of it. I came home from work around 7 p.m., set my bag down, reached for the handle, and it wouldn't turn. The deadbolt was engaged. I remember standing there for a second confused, then assuming I'd locked it out of habit. I unlocked it, went inside, and continued my evening. The second time happened 3 days later. Same thing, same deadbolt. This time, I stopped and thought harder. I never lock the door when I'm inside. I hate the feeling. It makes me anxious. Still, I brushed it off. The third time is when the fear started. I came home late, almost midnight. The hallway was quiet. I unlocked the door, stepped inside, and immediately noticed the air felt wrong, stale, like the apartment had been sealed for hours. I turned to lock the door behind me. The deadbolt was already locked. From the inside, my stomach dropped. I stood there listening. No movement, no sounds. I checked every room, every closet, even behind the shower curtain. Nothing. I barely slept that night. The next morning, I called my landlord. He checked the lock, said it was old but functional, suggested maybe I was locking it and forgetting. I wanted to believe him. Then things escalated. I started noticing small changes when I came home, things I couldn't immediately explain. A chair pulled slightly away from the table. The bathroom light turned off when I was sure I left it on. My bedroom door closed when I never close it. I told myself I was being paranoid, until the chain lock was hooked. I had never used the chain, ever. That night, I didn't go inside. I stood in the hallway shaking, staring at that chain like it was a message. Someone had been in my apartment, and they had time. I called the police. They searched the place thoroughly. No signs of forced entry, no fingerprints that didn't belong to me, no missing items, nothing broken. One officer asked me gently if I'd been under stress lately. That question scared me more than anything else. After that, I started documenting everything. Photos of the door when I left, videos of me unlocking it, notes on where things were placed. I even started sleeping with my bedroom door locked. For 2 weeks, nothing happened. I started to relax. Then, I came home early. I had a headache and left work early that day. As I reached my floor, I heard something I wasn't supposed to hear. Footsteps. Inside my apartment. Slow, careful, like someone was trying not to make noise. I froze in the hallway. I didn't move, I didn't breathe. Then the footsteps stopped, and the deadbolt turned. Click. From the inside, I ran. I stayed with a friend that night and told her everything. She insisted I move out. I agreed. I started packing the next day. That afternoon, while boxing up my things, I found something that made my hands go numb. In the back of my hallway closet behind the coats was a narrow door I had never noticed before. It was painted the same color as the wall. It didn't lead anywhere important, according to the landlord. Old maintenance access, he said, sealed years ago. But it wasn't sealed. It opened into a crawl space between apartments. Small, dark, dusty, just big enough for someone to fit. Inside, I found flattened cardboard, a water bottle, and cigarette butts. I don't smoke. I called the police again. They searched the crawl space, took notes, took photos, but once again, no suspect, no evidence strong enough, no explanation. I moved out 2 days later. Weeks passed. I tried to forget. Then one night I received a text from an unknown number. Just one sentence. "You always locked the door. That's why I had to." I changed my number the same night. I still don't lock my door when I'm home. I need to hear it open. Because the scariest part wasn't that someone was inside my apartment. It was that they were careful enough to leave before I ever saw them. The call didn't just know his name. It knew where he was sitting and what he was wearing. His story was submitted to a late-night radio show that collects real listener experiences. The caller refused to go on air and only allowed the story to be read anonymously. I don't answer unknown numbers. That's a rule I've followed for years. If it's important, they'll leave a message. That's what I believed. Until my phone rang at 1:17 a.m. Unknown caller. I almost ignored it. I don't know why I answered. Maybe because I was already awake. Maybe because something in my gut told me not answering would be worse. "Hello?" I said. For a moment, there was only breathing. Slow, controlled. Then a voice whispered my full name, first and last. No one says my last name unless they know me. "Who is this?" I asked. The voice didn't answer. Instead, it said, "You're sitting on the left side of the couch." My chest tightened. "That's not funny," I said, forcing a laugh that didn't sound real. "You're wearing a dark shirt," the voice continued, calm and steady. "And you keep checking the front door, even though it's locked." I stood up so fast my phone almost slipped from my hand. I walked through the apartment, turning on the lights, checking the corners. Nothing. No one. "How do you know that?" I asked. The voice chuckled softly. "Because I can see you." I hung up. I locked the door, checked the windows, grabbed the kitchen knife, and sat on the edge of my bed, staring at the hallway. 5 minutes passed. Then my phone rang again. Same number. I didn't answer. A text message appeared. "Why did you move?" My hands were shaking so badly I could barely type. "Who are you?" The reply came instantly. "Check your security camera." I had a cheap camera facing my living room. I'd set it up months ago after a break-in down the street. I opened the app. At first, everything looked normal. Empty couch, TV off, shadows where shadows should be. Then I noticed the timestamp. The live feed was fine. The playback tab showed a recording from 1 minute ago. I pressed play. The footage showed me sitting on the couch, answering my phone. But behind me, in the hallway darkness, something moved. A figure stepped forward just enough for the camera to catch it. A man, standing completely still, watching me. I dropped the phone. When I picked it up again, the call was back. This time, I answered without speaking. "I don't like it when you ignore me. It makes me impatient." "Get out of my house," I whispered. Silence. Then, very softly, "I already did." The line went dead. I didn't sleep. I didn't sit. I stayed standing until sunrise with every light on. When the police came, they searched the apartment. No signs of entry, no signs of anyone hiding. They asked about the camera. The footage was gone, deleted. They checked phone records. The number didn't exist. That should have been the end. It wasn't. 2 nights later, my phone rang again at exactly 1:17 a.m. Unknown caller. This time, I didn't answer. The voicemail notification appeared seconds later. I waited, then I played it. It was just breathing. Then my voice, recorded. saying, "Hello. I don't live there anymore. I don't use that phone. But sometimes, late at night, my new phone lights up with no call, no notification, just one word on the screen, waiting."
The phone wasn't broken. It was recording, as if the owner knew they wouldn't be there to stop it. This story comes from a hiking forum post that was later archived after the original author stopped responding to questions. No missing person report was ever publicly linked to the account. We found the phone just after sunset. It was lying face up in the dirt beside the trail, screen cracked, battery still at 42%. No signal, no notifications, just one thing open, the voice recorder app. At first, we thought someone had dropped it while hiking. Accidents happen. People panic, lose things. But something about the way it was placed felt deliberate, like it had been set down, not dropped. My friend picked it up and said, "That's weird." There was only one recording saved. It was titled, "If Anyone Finds This." We should have turned back right then. The trail was quiet, no birds, no wind, just the sound of our boots on dirt and leaves. I pressed play. At first, there was only static, then a man's voice, calm, controlled, too calm. "If you're hearing this, I'm probably not close enough to stop you." There was a pause. Footsteps. "I've been walking for over 3 hours. Every time I stop, it stops. Every time I walk, it walks too." We looked at each other but kept listening. At first, I thought it was an echo. Then I realized the footsteps were matching mine exactly. Same rhythm, same weight. The sound quality shifted slightly, like the phone had been moved. I tried changing my pace. It changed with me. The man took a shaky breath. "I haven't seen it. That's the worst part. I can hear it, but it stays just far enough back that I can't turn around fast enough to catch it." The recording went silent for a moment. Then 2 sets of footsteps, one closer than before. "If this is a person, they want me to know they're there." My stomach tightened. "If it's not..." The footsteps stopped. So did we. I realized we were all standing completely still, listening to the forest around us. Nothing. The man spoke again, quieter now. "I'm going to stop walking." There was a long pause. No footsteps. Then, another step. Not his. The recording ended abruptly. We stood there staring at the phone like it might start talking again. That's when we heard it. Footsteps. Behind us. Slow. Even. Matching our pace exactly when we started moving again. We didn't run. We didn't talk. We walked, steady and controlled, until the trail opened up and the parking lot came into view. Only then did the footsteps stop. We never went back. We turned the phone in to park services the next morning. They said no one had been reported missing. They thanked us and told us not to worry. Weeks later, one of the group admitted something he hadn't told us before. While we were listening to the recording, he'd checked the file details. The recording wasn't hours long. It was 4 minutes, and according to the timestamp, it ended while we were already on the trail. I don't hike anymore, because whatever followed that man didn't disappear. It just waited for someone else to walk alone.